the college basketball experience, Sweet 16 preview and NIT and CIT picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet is what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at winbet.com or download the WinBet app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the Sports Gambling Podcast Final Four watch party. We are inviting you to this. April 1st, 7:30 p.m. Yes, me, Stacking the Money Green, Real Money Kramer, will be at the Ice House Comedy Club in Los Angeles, California. So come on, hang out with the crew. All the info is available at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/icehouse.
Hey, this is Bill Romanowski. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Sweet 16 preview, CIT, NIT picks episode. Oh, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Kobe Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Oh, you are going to pay for it. Good night. And it feels great to be back, healthy, being a part of planet Earth. Ate some broccoli. You know what I mean? Breathe some air. Shout out to Galactic. It says, I often miss the live show. Super hype that I made it in time. Shout out to you. And yeah, we've been in Vegas, been grinding, and it's good to be back home in, being able to jam out content. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm doing good now. My guy just got the Northwestern State job, so go Demons.
You must be referring to Rick Cabrera.
Rick Cabrera.
Right?
We were on staff at Austin P back in the day, so he went to Tallahassee Community College, did a good job there, and now he's headed to Northwestern State. So I'll be betting that money line every game next year. Let's go. They beat TCU this year.
Let's go. Dude, Northwestern State was solid this year. They were solid.
Yep.
Maybe we should just open up and talk about some of that. We're going to talk a lot about college basketball coaching in the Sweet 16, but we also want to talk about some of these big names hiring. And we're going to give you solo episodes during the offseason on pretty much all these coaches and maybe what they bring in recruiting wise and stuff like that. State of the program. But yes, Northwestern State has hired Rick Cabrera. Also, the big one here, Rick Pitino.
The other Rick.
Let's go. He's back at St. John. I mean, not back at St. John's, but he's back at the Garden because he used to coach for the New York Knicks. He used to be an assistant also for the New York Knicks, two different eras. And obviously no stranger to the Big East with his play at Providence. And I want to say maybe even the first go around at Louisville. They might have got a couple years there in the Big East. So he's no stranger to that. I think this is a huge win for college basketball, even though I know obviously it's probably going to be a short leash considering he's like 75 fucking years old, but I'm all in favor. I think the Big East got a lot stronger. And the other shocking news was Ed Cooley took just about $500,000 more per year to hop down the I-95 to head over to DC. I think the real thing here though is that Ed Cooley, Georgetown's committing more financial money, I think, to the basketball program than say Providence, besides his contract. But he is the Hoyas' new head coach. What do you make of those two moves?
The Big East is back. I mean, they're having a strong NCAA tournament already. 3 teams in the Sweet 16, 3 teams that I think we all agree can advance past the Sweet 16, and UConn, Creighton, and Xavier. And obviously Marquette was shocking smart. Now you had 2 other coaches, or I guess Ed Cooley just goes from one Big East to another, but he's going to have different resources. I think he can bring back the national brand and name for the Georgetown Hoyas. And then Rick Pitino, you can pencil, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament next year. I can't wait. I'll be the biggest fan of the Johnnies. I thought what he did, I mean, I understand at the time it was bad. I mean, it's always bad, but considering what other guys did at the same time, I mean, nobody else got in trouble.
Shout out to Peter Griffith. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Peter Griffith. Thanks for the $40 gift card. But yeah, you're right. Dude, I think these both strengthen the Big East. I saw people asking about Northwestern State. What happened is McIntyre retired. Their longtime head coach retired. He doesn't want that NIL transfer portal shit. He's out. He said, I'm 60. I think I read an article. He's 68 years old, some shit like that. And he's out. But so I think the Big East gets stronger in a way, because now there's an opening at Providence. There was speculation that it could be Bobby Hurley, but he just re-upped for a 2-year extension in Tempe. So Bobby Hurley survives. Then I'm seeing reports, and I don't know. Actually, I should actually probably look at this right now. I'm seeing that.
Kim English.
Kim English, the George Mason head coach, the longtime Rick Barnes assistant down there at Tennessee. Is going to be the next head coach of Providence. So here's my thing here. I think Pitino's going to win right away. The portal gives him access to that. I think they're going to be a buzz around him in the city, and I think that place is going to be rocking. I think Georgetown will be able to win right away with the portal and the way Ed Cooley and the way that they want to spend money on basketball. Providence is the head scratcher a little bit here. And I'm not going to say Kim English was terrible, but he definitely got better players to Georgetown. Their roster way more talented.
George Mason.
Did I say Georgetown? I'm sorry. George Mason. Yep. Yeah. At George Mason. Then Paulson, their Dave Paulson was in it, their former coach, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
But they still couldn't win a lot of these games where I felt like they were more talented. I felt like they were more talented in a lot of games that they lost. So I want to wish, I like Kim English, but I think he's a little unproven to me. What do you make of that hire?
Yeah. I kind of tweeted out the same thing, because one of the big coaching firm accounts tweeted out that this is what Kim English is. He's always tweeting out life lessons, and I'm like, that doesn't qualify you for a Big East job. Kim English was 34 and 29 in 2 years at George Mason. I'm not saying Kim English isn't a good coach or isn't going to be qualified, but there's a lot of really good basketball coaches out there that are way more deserving, put more hours in, that I think right now would do a better job than Kim English at Vermont. I mean, the first name that comes to mind is Beckner at Vermont. He's won every single year there. He's already in that region. He would have been number 1 for me.
I would have had a few, but English, I understand he's young and he's been he's been able to recruit, and that's half the battle. But you got to win games, and to me, I still struggle to see. Some of those losses they have are inexcusable to me based on when I look at the talent on that roster. But we'll see.
And George Mason's a good job.
Yeah,
you're right there where Georgetown is, which is why Cooley left, because of the DC area. So, yeah, that's a head scratcher. I'm with you there.
Shout out to Cameron Kerr. So what happened to Paul Mills? Paul Mills, Oral Roberts head coach. He dipped out to Wichita State. Love this hire.
Shaka Nation, baby.
You know, I was thinking about this. You think, obviously the AAC loses Houston, UCF, and Cincinnati in basketball this year. Like this next basketball season, they're no longer part of the AAC. They're in the Big 12. But in a way, so if you're looking at the teams returning within the AAC, Memphis, who we know will be good. Tulane, who I think Ron Hunter's got that program improving year by year. Wichita State, which, they've made the Final Four in the past 15 years. They're not. Yep. I mean, I should have think like 11 years ago. No, 12 years ago. They're a rich program. Go back to the 80s when they had fucking Antoine Carr and Xavier McDaniel, but they've been doing it for a while, and they have winning culture there. So so they hire Paul Mills, who I think could be a home run there, especially knowing the AAC is kind of wide open. Now, obviously East Carolina is in the AAC, and we know the Schwartz is with us, and that we will be contending for championships here very shortly. But there's still talk that Mike Bray could end up the South Florida head coach. I know he interviewed. I thought that was reported. Nowadays, 2023, you get so much fake news. So I'm seeing that he hasn't been offered the contract yet. So who knows if he ends up in Tampa? That is an open job that could be interesting. But let's not forget what they add in. We thought the CUSA was very good this year. Well, a lot of those teams are jumping to the AAC. The Florida Atlantic Owls will be in the AAC next year. That's going to be awesome. The North Texas Mean Green. Well, there's talk that Grant McCaskill is going to be the next Texas Tech head coach, so that one might regress. Rice, solid. Charlotte, solid. And then you get a doormat in UTSA. Wait, am I forgetting any others? I think that's all.
No, I think you got them all.
Yeah. I think that's all of them. So when you mix them, obviously they'll lose to East Carolina because we do believe. Shout out to Iveta. And I mean, I think this conference will be fun next year. I actually, in a way, now this is before the McCaskill news. I thought, man, it's kind of more fun because Houston was just dominating the AAC. I was sitting there thinking, okay, so you got Memphis, Tulane. I actually think SMU will be a lot better next year, and then the additions with Florida Atlantic, Rice, North Texas. I was like, man, this is going to be a fun little conference next year. Lose a little muster with McCaskill, but Paul Mills at Wichita. I love that. And McCaskill, do we know if that's final yet? That Texas Tech?
No, because they won tonight. I thought Oklahoma State was going to get him, and then we would see him take the Lubbock job. But he's going to New York next week for the Final Four, the NIT. If he does land in Texas Tech, man, he's a perfect fit because he was a JUCO guy in West Texas already, and everybody's seen him at Baylor as an assistant, and what he's done in North Texas has been great. So, I think Mike Bray is not going to take the USF job, and he's going to be on TV, which I think he'll be perfect at.
Yeah, I think so too. So that means South Florida job open. The Temple job is open. They told Aaron McKee to get the fuck out of there. Wofford went with their interim head coach Dwight Perry, the guy who filled in. So got a contract out of that. I saw Bucknell hired St. Joe's assistant John Griffin. I don't know what to make of that one.
St. Joe's was decent.
I like this one though. Steve Lutz from Texas A&M Corpus Christi hired to Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers.
Love it.
Oh. That's what the AAC should have grabbed Western Kentucky too.
I was surprised that they didn't.
Yeah. That one should be very fun to watch there. And obviously, how about the news that Tobin Anderson, Fairleigh Dickinson's head coach, moves along to Iona. I find it hilarious.
Yep.
I find it hilarious that people were like, I mean, if I'm being honest here, Stu Mandel. I mean, I've listened to him say he doesn't cover college, but so why are you opinionated if you don't fucking watch it? You know what I mean? Like you don't see me talking about fucking Korean baseball because I don't watch fucking Korean baseball. You know what I mean? Like, but it just I don't understand. Like he took a 4-win team a year ago, won 21 games this year, also beat the 16 seed. Yes, they didn't win their conference tournament, but he still had a fucking great year from a head coaching point of view.
Yep. Yeah, he did a great job. But we were talking pre-show, like how undercover college basketball is for about 11 and a half months out of the year. And then 3 months, everybody becomes an analyst. Every jackass has an opinion. It's like us going on The Bachelor and Bachelorette and breaking down, should they have sex or not? Or should they hook up over there? Like,
yes, they should. Yes, they should.
The answer is yes. No. But that's not our expertise. It's like it annoys me. It's like, man, I wish there should be more coverage for college basketball. But this time of year, everybody, and then they're like, why are these coaches leaving? It's like, you ever heard of money, or you ever heard of a better situation? Like, come on.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I could shit on that all day on what they were saying, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
come on. Clearly, yeah.
I said the only reason I said Bachelorette is because my fiance was watching it earlier, and I was like, "What the hell is this shit?" So that was fresh in my mind.
You were like, "Honey, huh? Chris is gonna hook up with Tanya, huh?"
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what was what. I was like, "What time's the NIT start?"
Yeah. I mean, look, Stu Mandel. You know, I did get blocked by him, but
yeah,
I just think to me, like, I mean, I know I was listening to one of his shows, and he said like I didn't start watching this year's college basketball season to the final week of the final Duke Carolina game. Well, it's like, okay, that's fair. You know, do whatever the fuck makes you happy, but okay, but don't start rattling off shit if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? And the Korean Baseball League's probably good. I just don't have time for it. I go deep diving with college football, college basketball, and look, it's you know, I don't think people realize that when June comes around, I preview every single college football team in the land, a solo podcast for every single fucking team. So, buckle up. Fairleigh Dickinson promoted assistant Jack Castleberry to permanent head coach. I got no idea if that's going to work out. You know what I mean? But hey, man, what St. Francis, New York, the divider is going to turn into a fucking Starbucks. They got rid of their athletic department. I'm going to tell you more.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you more in a second. Yeah. I want to tell you folks, the college basketball experience is brought to you by WinBet. Yes, WinBet's now active in Massachusetts and a ton of other states. Be on the lookout for WinBet Win Hour each Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. During WinBet's Win Hour, marquee games of the week will have better odds on WinBet, giving you a larger payout opportunity. And March Madness is here. There's so many ways to bet on the big dance. Sign up today. Receive a special offer. Bet $100, get $100. Limited to state availability. And of course, for our DGens only, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from, and all you have to do is head over to winbet.com or download the WinBet app. Offer subject to change, terms and condition. WinBet.com must be 21 or older. Present state where WinBet is available. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Final Four. Yes, we're doing a live watch party for the Final Four. If you're in if you're in the Southern California area, or if you're just coming in from wherever, look, LA's a tourist destination. Come out here. Check out Hollywood. See all the homeless people sleeping on the fucking streets. You know what I mean? Check out Venice Beach. You got all that good stuff. Get some sun in your life. Well, you can also add to that list. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast live from the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena, California. It's a historic comedy club, guys. If you've never heard, do your homework on that. So, yeah, April 1st, 7:30 p.m. We will be there. Get all the details, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/icehouse. We're also brought to you by the SGP Masters. Yeah, looking to hang out with Sean Stack of the Muddy Green and Ryan Real Money Kramer at Stadium Swim and watch the biggest golf tournament in the world. You could win a 3-night stay at Circle Las Vegas to hang out with the guys. The contest is completely free to enter. All you have to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. And look, if you don't win the contest, you can still Get a discount on your room using promo code SGP15. Shout out to Kip C. He says, college sports calendar is perfect. College football previews don't really kick in until after the College World Series. Correct. It is a perfect calendar. And then you mix that with XFL and USFL, CFL. You know me, I'm a football junkie. Yeah, we got you covered. All right. Yeah. St. Francis, New York is getting rid of their athletic department because they probably spend money like fucking idiots. All right.
They spend too much money on the divider.
Yeah, exactly. All right. They probably, you know, how much power that probably takes half the city's power to pull that thing down. You know what I mean? Press that button.
Pitino came to town. He said, get rid of the divider.
That pisses me off, man. That program's been going for like over 100 years, and you pieces of shit didn't handle your finances correctly. You're going to destroy history. It's pathetic. You already got rid of your football program, which was going for a while. That shit pisses me off.
It yeah. It's kind of like Hartford, but even worse. At least Hartford's still playing.
Yeah, Hartford's going D3 because their school's a bunch of fucking idiots. Just made their NCAA tournament for the first time a couple years ago. Let's go D3. You know what? I just read an article. I just read an article today that every single conference winner gets $2 million just for getting to the NCAA tournament. All right. See if you can get that $2 million in D3. That's all I'm saying. See if you can do that. Let's see.
These institutions spend money worse than freaking Congress does.
Yeah. And the biggest news of the season, Calais Pepe is returning.
I was like, what am I missing?
It's easy to see a tide turn.
We have, I'm getting my season ticket package. Loyola Marymount star forward, the greatest college basketball player to ever step foot on planet Earth. So I got that news. I think those are all the coaching news that I know of right now. I said, yeah. I think Lutz is a home run hire at Western Kentucky. What do you think about that one?
I love it. He did a good job at Corpus Christi, back-to-back tournament appearances. I think he's going to do a good job there, and they had to get away from Stansbury. That thing was getting stale.
And now I guess we still have a lot of openings, so and we're going to do solo episodes on these, but now Kim English, if he leaves Mason, that's going to be interesting. I wonder, I know that Tony Skinn is an assistant at Maryland, former Patriot player, took him to the Final Four. I wonder if they'll consider him, or I don't know if he's too young, but man, that's a job that I feel like they got to get their shit together because they should be, Larinaga wanted to stay there, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to stay there.
Kim English is younger than Skinn.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're going to do that. Yeah. So there's that, the transfer portal's batshit crazy. Over 600 players. I think probably 700 by now.
Are you receiving interest from anybody? Everybody's receiving interest from somebody. I hate this freaking shit.
I mean, some huge names. Obviously, Sky Clark landed with Louisville, but like, you got some really big names that have entered in this thing. What's EK from Wyoming, the big man? That guy's going to be a fucking get wherever, assuming he's healthy. Obviously, Khalif Battle, Damian Dunn from Temple. Big opportunities. I saw the big man from Colorado hit the portal today. The kid from Wyoming. Taron Armstrong, the probably the best player, if not the best player, the second best player of Cal Baptist hit the portal. You can go one by one. I mean, the BJ Mack from Wofford. You can go. There's so many of them. St. Thomas's star freshman. Tommy's he hit the portal.
A lot of good mid-major players in the portal already. Yeah. It's
Jared Bynum from Providence.
Yep.
I wonder if he goes to. I bet you Jared Bynum from Providence goes to Georgetown because he's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. So I could totally see Bynum. Yeah. So. Quinn Slazinski for Iona. I wonder a bunch of Iona players. I'm assuming they might just hop on over to St. John's. Duquesne's Easley Jr. That guy's a baller. He hit the portal. Arkansas State starting point guard is good. Ford, he hit the portal. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Did you see Drew Pember came back for Asheville?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
got Leia Pepe back, Pember back. I thought there was another big name that said he was coming back, but
there will be plenty of news.
I saw Marcus Adams Jr., a star freshman. You know, he is going to enroll early and be a part of Kansas's staff next year. That's another one that caught my eye. We're gonna have you covered for all this stuff as the season as the off season. We'll go coach by coach talking about what we think this hire can be. And yeah, we'll have you covered on that stuff. But I feel like now we can hop into let's go Sweet 16. We'll close out with our CBI and NIT picks because we still have right below here. I got that Radford game going on. Sweet 16. Obviously, tomorrow night we're hoping to get Rob Donaldson on the show. It'll be me, you, and Rob Donaldson picking Sweet 16.
My man.
And maybe Noah Beanick. He's always invited. And we'll go through all the games for Thursday and Friday Sweet 16 action. But I figured tonight would be a good episode to break down, rank our top coaches remaining in the Sweet 16, and also the 8 games that we want to see the most. All right. Let's start with coaching. Who do you believe is the top coach left in the Sweet 16?
I would probably go Tom Izzo.
Okay, actually, should we count down? Should we go reverse from?
Yeah,
I think everyone's answer would be Izzo. That's not going to reveal anything. So at 16, I mean, okay, so the guys that haven't had a deep history of winning in March, I think, Dusty May, obviously he's at Florida Atlantic. Jerome Tang as a head coach, always had a great success as an assistant. Brian Dutcher, I think, has done, I think a lot of people think San Diego's deep run. That was actually with what's my guy's name from Michigan? Steve
Fisher.
Yep. Almost said something else. Then you have Sean Miller, who I feel like hasn't had amazing tournament success. Obviously Mitch Henderson at Princeton, Rodney Terry, who's never as a head coach. I don't think he got Fresno there. Did he ever get? I don't think he got Fresno there. No. Dan Hurley has been, guy that's kind of struggled. Curious, who would you have at 16 between the 16 schools left, ranking the 16 coaches? What would be your 16th ranked coach?
I probably would go Mitch Henderson at Princeton. Not just because by default, I mean, this was his first NCAA tournament win this year. Although, I mean, it's hard for an Ivy League school to get a win. He's done a good job there. He's won 60% of his games, but I probably by default, Mitch Henderson would be 16 for me.
Well, and you got to realize that a lot of those other years where they finished, second. I mean, look at this. He started out back then. You couldn't make the tournament because there was no postseason tournament. And there was no Ivy League tournament. I mean, look,
league ever.
This is a guy that's only had one losing season in his career. That's why
he's solid.
That's why I can't put him at 16. And that's why I am going to put, to me, it's either, I think you got to go. I'll go Rodney Terry at 16 because we haven't seen him what at Fresno State. What years was he there?
He was there. He had Sully Bloom as his point guard. He was 126, 108 at Fresno, and then he was 37.
He was
at
UTEP too. I forgot he was at UTEP. I mean, look, he's had 4 losing seasons in his career. Also a 12-12 season.
I'll flip him. I'll put Terry there just because of his. But I mean, I didn't think he did a bad. He went to the tournament at Fresno in 2015-16. So
I don't think he did. I don't think he's a bad coach. By us saying this, that doesn't mean you're a bad coach. It just means that we think if we had to rank all of these, obviously you're doing something right if you're even in the fucking Sweet 16. So this is not a diss on Rodney Terry, and obviously he will have the opportunity to make me
he's
look
gonna
like
win
a
it all.
fool. Yeah, no, I actually think Texas has better chance than a lot of other teams. If you were to power rank who I think could win it all, but I think right now that would be the case for me. So then at 15, do we do Mitch Henderson, or what about Dusty May? And maybe we make a case for Dusty May being 16 because we haven't seen a lot of him, but he also has never had a losing season.
Yeah.
So
he's been really good. I mean, it's no losing season. Then now he's 34 or 33-3. He's won 63% of his games. I mean, there's not really a bad like fluky coach in the Sweet 16 this year.
So would you put Henderson above May or no?
I'd put May above him. Just, I mean, to go 33-3, that propels you. I mean, what they've done this year is special, and he's built it up too. FAU wasn't rolling when he got there.
Yeah. That you also have Dan Hurley in the mix. Now, granted, Dan Hurley's had some great seasons at Wagner. He went like 25-5 or something. He built up Rhode Island. He built up UConn, but he had a lot of losing seasons in there. I feel like. So at 16 we have Rodney Terry. At 15 we're putting in Mitch Henderson. At 14 Dusty May.
I agree with that.
Does Dan Hurley belong anywhere below them?
I don't think so. Just because he took over Wagner when they really weren't playing well. Won 25-6. Rhode Island. I mean, I know he had a couple losing seasons. Took a little bit to build there, but he was really good late. I'd probably put him as the next one. I'm looking at McDermott right now too. It's probably between McDermott and.
But
and
Jerome
Hurley.
Tang, you don't really have a long history.
Yeah.
You can make an argument he should be 16.
But the only for him, it's hard just because he took over a preseason number 10 team in the best league in America. They were preseason pick last, and he won. I mean, they ran through it. I mean, they finished third, and I think Baylor struggling has helped solidify him even more.
Agreed. We talked about that in Vegas. So, all right, look, here's what I'll do. I'm going to put Jerome Tang at, to me, number 13, and then I'll put Hurley at 12. I think Tang just has to prove it a little more to me by default. I think he's a fucking incredible coach, but just the fact we haven't seen him, I expect him to be in the top of this list in a couple of years. Now the question is that McDermott, Dutcher, Barnes, Miller, even Nate Oates you could throw out there. What would your pecking order be from there?
See, I gotta look back at McDermott because McDermott struggled at Iowa State. He didn't have one winning season at Iowa State. He was good at Northern Iowa, 3 tournaments, and then he kind of got his career back on track when he went to Creighton. Was really good when his son was there. I probably would go McDermott next.
McDermott did win at Wayne State.
He did win at Wayne State. So 26-6 in 2000.
Yeah, I forgot he was at North Dakota State for a year. Yeah, you put Dutcher. What about Dutcher behind McDermott?
Dutcher's also kind of unproven because like Dutcher took over. He was with Steve.
The COVID
Fisher.
year, the COVID year burned him really bad, right?
Yeah, I mean he's won almost 77% of his games. He was 30-2 the COVID year. If he had that COVID year, I think brutal. I think we're thinking of him in a whole different atmosphere, just like Anthony Grant at Dayton. So I would probably go McDermott lower than Dutcher. I think Dutcher's really good.
All right, I'll join you there. Let's say McDermott goes to so at 16 Terry, at 15 Henderson, at 14 May, at 13 Tang, 12 Hurley, 11 McDermott, 10 Dutcher. Do you put Dutcher above Oates?
Oh, see, Oates also was kind of like Dusty May. He had a Dusty May like year in terms of at Buffalo. He was 32-4 last year, 3 out of 4 NCAA tournaments. As much as I don't like Nate Oates in Alabama, I mean, he's been a 1 seed 2 out of the last 3 years. That's impressive at a football school.
That's true. I mean, even at Buffalo, he had a good couple years
Oates is
there.
pretty good. I think Oates is a little higher up.
I think I'd put. What about Dutcher and Miller?
See, Sean Miller, like it was Sean Miller. It's a lot
Sean
of regular
Miller
season. Yeah.
Sean Miller at Arizona, like, in my opinion, like his
like
failures.
Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, that's true too. But at least Lloyd is only in year 2.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's go Dutcher then.
Then probably Sean Miller.
Yeah, I'll go Miller then at what is that? What would that be? Hold on. So 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So at 10 we go Dutcher, 9 Miller. Dude, at 8 I'm putting Rick Barnes. I don't even know, man. I feel like you can make a case McDermott's better than Rick Barnes. I don't know.
I'm taking Rick Barnes. I'm starting to think Rick Barnes is actually a little bit underrated. Rick Barnes, I mean, I know everybody says fade Rick Barnes season, but Rick Barnes has almost 800 wins. He's got multiple Elite Eights. He's got a Final Four.
He's great for the regular season.
Yeah.
If you want to pin up a nice conference or regular season title, he's your guy. He'll be number 1 if we did that. He's probably better than fucking Izzo at doing that. But at the same time, he just sucks in the tournament, dude. He is a fucking winner, though. You go back to even his George Mason days, the guy was winning games. All right, you've sold me on that. I'll put him ahead of Cronin. Because look, Cronin's got one Final Four.
Thing. Yeah,
they both have one Final Four.
Yeah, I don't see how you could put Mick Cronin over Rick Barnes.
Both of them got to be ahead of Oates, though, right?
Yeah,
if
they're both just
by like
been
who's
solid.
been to a Final Four.
Yeah.
So let's put Miller. Then we jump down to. Would you put Mick Cronin over Nate Oates?
Probably not. Just because Nate Oates has turned Alabama into a basketball school all of a sudden. 2 out of 3 number 1 seeds, and then he was great at Buffalo. I think Oates and Musselman are very close, to be honest.
But the problem here is that Cronin and Musselman have had deep runs. Oates hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, this is his second Sweet 16 in 3 years.
I understand that, but Mick Cronin's been to a Final Four and was a crazy shot away from playing for the national championship. And Musselman went to the Elite Eight a couple times, right? Twice?
Musselman's been twice, yeah. And then a Sweet 16.
I'm sorry, I got to put Oates, then go Cronin, and so that leaves us there with our remaining one. Then I'll go Oates, Cronin. Do you put Barnes over Cronin? I think that's pretty.
Me personally, yes, just because Barnes has done it longer. They kind of have the same track record, to be honest. Been really good at multiple schools. I think just Mick Cronin's legacy kind of changed when he had that COVID Final Four year, but before that, he was a lot of second round exits at Cincinnati. He went to the Sweet 16 as well. So yeah, I would go Barnes over Cronin.
I think I go Cronin over Barnes, buddy. I think you favor Barnes.
Close.
Yeah.
I mean it's pretty close.
Well, let's talk top 5 in a second here. But before I do that, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college basketball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Talkify. Life is full of what ifs. What if Mick Cronin stayed at Cincinnati? He'd be in the Big 12 now, and all of a sudden, Moneyline Mac would be praising Mick Cronin. All right, because you know him and his Big 12 bias. All right, I'm fucking with you. But no, honestly, what is about like what ifs? There's a lot of what ifs in life. I've said this on this very show before. I met my wife in the basement of an art gallery where I was doing a comedy show, which I had done about 100 times before. The same comedy show. Trust me, it wasn't an area where you think you'd meet your wife. All right. Like I said, the basement of an art gallery, you'd normally get, you know, bunch of comics that were getting all fucked up. You know what I mean? The occasional, like you'd get some bands that would come down there, and you know, you do a quick little 10-minute set, and you probably get offered mushrooms, coke, and pretty much anything. And you have a, you know, you avoid that, right? I avoided that. I mean, I would take a beer, but I'm saying like, you know, but that was the type of scene it was. And luckily enough, there was a band performing after the comedy show. So there was a completely different crowd than I was expecting. And I almost didn't go to this show. That's where I met my wife. She was there to see the band, not to see comedy. And boom, next thing you know, I'm a married guy. Boom. Point is, timing is everything. So when it comes to dating, you know, Talkify is a new way to meet other serious singles. What if they help you find exactly what you're looking for? You know what I mean? Like maybe you're having a hard time meeting great people to date. I can tell you this: before I met my wife, I had been out dating and it was terrible, absolutely fucking terrible. I can remember like going out to a dinner and like just being like, after 10 minutes, I was like, I can't stand this person. And I still got to stay there for like 45 minutes listening to the conversations. Right. And just loading up drinks. Right. You know what I mean though? I mean, that's terrible. Why not have someone else figure this out for you that, hey, maybe I won't like this person instead of me. Be open-minded, Colby. Be open-minded, Colby. Do you want another martini? Yes, I'm being open-minded. All right. So it's time to say goodbye to swiping and bring back the human touch to dating. And that is with Talkify, because confidence is key when it comes to dating. But if you've struggled to find worthwhile connections, it can be difficult to feel your best when meeting new people. With Talkify, you feel confident when you're meeting that someone special who was picked just for you. All right. Talkify is the country's #1 modern matchmaking service that is designed to help you achieve relationship success. Their trusted compatibility specialists hand select successful and compelling candidates for you so you can date consciously and productively. And look, Talkify has matchmakers that will meet with you to learn about what you're looking for in a partner. They'll even screen potential candidates that they'll do background checks, make sure they're not part of the Weathermen. You know what I mean? Make sure they're not trying to bomb something. You know what I mean? Like they're going to make sure that's a quality situation you're walking into. And the matchmaker will plan your date introductions, handle all the communications for you. Cause let's be honest, we've all been on that first date where you wanted to ask the question, but you didn't. You wanted to ask, what do you do for a living? You know, I mean, you normally say, what do you do for a living? But also there's like 30 other questions you kind of want to follow up with that you just don't. You're like, okay, I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to, but really I would like to know this. And sometimes that can be sensitive, and that can be and if you do say it, it can be a turnoff for him or her. It could be like, hey, I'm out of here. Fuck this guy or girl. So my point is right now, Talkify, just let Talkify do all that for you. All right. Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/SGPN. That's Talkify, TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN. All right. We are back. Actually, no, we're not. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy is heating up for March Madness. College Pick'em is a great way to get in on all of the action, especially if your bracket is busted after day one. Plus, Underdog Fantasy has your favorite college basketball player props, which I play all the time. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. All right. top 5 coaches left in the tournament. I think we already said Izzo's one. Kind of hard to dispute that considering he's the only guy that's won a national championship here.
Yeah.
As a head coach. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So at number 2, is where it really heats up. I feel like this is where it can get chippy. There's Mark Few, who's got to the tournament championship game twice. That's a hilarious comment by Dustin. Cronin better enjoy these deep runs now. When UCLA joins the Big Ten, they won't sniff the second weekend. Hilarious.
A lot of truth to that.
Yeah. Mark Few. You got Mark Few. You got Kelvin Sampson. You got Jim Larinaga. And then at 5, I think we put Musselman, right?
Yeah, I think Musselman's definitely 5th, and I think it's a debate is between those other 4 guys, the 4 old guys.
Man, this is where it gets really fucking hard though. So you have Few that's been to 2 championship games as a head coach.
Yeah.
If you're ranking it just by championship appearances, it would go Izzo. Actually, it would go Izzo, then Few.
Yeah.
Then Sampson. Then
I think Larinaga is a clear 4 here.
Really? Why is that?
I love Larinaga. He's done a great job. I know he's got the George Mason Final Four run. He's done a good job at Miami, but I think Sampson and Few are on a different level in terms of just the total level of consistency. I know Sampson got the bullshit text messages scandal at Indiana. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
I think Larinaga is a lot closer to Sampson than you're giving it credit for. I mean, Sampson has been fantastic. I remember back at Washington State, but then when he went to Oklahoma, so I mean, he's only been to 1 Final Four, dude, and he was at, Oklahoma in some great years. Well, actually, no, did he get? Yeah. He got Houston to 1 Final Four too. So he's been to 2 Final Fours.
And the COVID year, they could have won again too. That was another. I guess we could say that for a couple guys.
Well, I'm just saying, Larinaga went to the Elite 8 last year with Miami. He took George Mason to the Final Four. He didn't have the same type of opportunities, I would say. It took Jim Larinaga fucking 20 years to get to a Power 5, where Kelvin Sampson coached at Washington State, Oklahoma, Indiana. You know what I mean? He had some big time opportunities there. So in that capacity, I would say that's not fair. You know what I mean? That's not fair that we didn't see Larinaga for all those years at George Mason, and all those years at Bowling Green. We didn't get to see him at a major school.
I think also with Sampson, we've kind of taken for granted how he's built Houston. That program was a total dump when he took over.
True.
And now
Very
he's
true.
Turned it into a juggernaut. It wasn't.
Well, it was great in the 80s. Yeah. It was great in the 80s, and then it went away.
Over, it was more than bad. I mean, they were an embarrassment. So he turned that thing into a consistent winner. So I'm gonna go Few number 2, just because he's been literally Mr. Consistency since 1999.
I'll join you there. I'll say I think Few has a little bit of a heads up on the other 2, but as far as Larinaga,
I do hope he wins one. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what's interesting about this whole Sweet 16 that we have right now. Basically, I mean, what teams have won national championships in our lifetime, or at least my lifetime? You have Michigan State and UCLA. I'm not sure what year you were born, but UCLA won one in 95. Arkansas, 94, and played in the 95 national championship, and then UConn. So the only 2 recent ones, and Michigan State's one's not even recent. That was 2001?
2000. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So last time the Big Ten won it.
The
Big Ten's been on a bad streak, man. It's. I mean, we joke about Big Ten choking in March, but it's every single year.
Yeah. Man, that's another compelling side of this is so I automatically don't want UConn to win then, because I want to see someone who hasn't won in a while or never personally. Like, I would love to see some of the other schools get in there and get that win, build that
Or
culture.
Michigan State. Yeah, we don't want to see Michigan State either.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll be honest. I don't want to see Michigan State, UCLA, UConn, or Arkansas win because they all won in my lifetime. They had the mountaintop. You know what I mean? I want to see Houston. I want to even Gonzaga one of these days. Even though I love, you know me, I made this case on the show last week. I love sports misery. So if Gonzaga got to the national championship and found a way to lose that game, I would find it fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I also, if they won it all, I'd be like, cool, they finally got it. They solidified that they're a fucking powerhouse because I've gotten into a million arguments with people that are, they're not that good.
How great would it be if Texas won, though, actually? Like, I know we don't like Texas, but they have to be forced to hire Rodney Terry. They don't want to hire him at all, but he forces them with the Big 12 championship where he beats Kansas by 20, and then he wins the national championship. He's like, fuck you, you got to hire me now.
They should hire him because he's done a damn good job. But I'll say this.
A great job. Yeah.
Fuck Texas. All right. I never want Texas to win in anything because they were assholes on the whole. Oh, the Big 12's got to pay us more because we're Texas. And then you finally do that. And then they're like, no, we're still going to the SEC. They're always a bunch of bitches. In my opinion, Texas football is a fucking joke. They won national championship since 1970 and they think they're fucking Alabama or something. It's like, dude, you got one national championship since you're the same amount of national championships as Georgia Tech in football since 1970. Shut the fuck up. All right. I know it. You're Texas, hook 'em, all this nonsense. All right.
Yeah.
So I got to root against them. Exactly. I got to root against them, even though I want, they should hire Rodney Terry. He's proven to be a damn good coach this year.
That'd be great if K-State wanted to answer Kansas's national championship.
No, that's what I'm rooting for.
That's who I want to win. Just like, Kansas gets bounced early and K-State fucking wins the national championship first year. Jerome Tang.
I'm kind of rooting for any of these schools. Ready? Like Houston, I'd be okay with just because, man, they got robbed 2 times in the 80s in the national championship. They've never won one. And I also like the fact that they are still a mid-major, and next year they're in the Big 12, so we could flex that. Hey, mid-major won the Natty. Then, and I also think
the Big 12. They're not playing another game in the American. They're already part of the conference. Count them.
Fair.
Count it.
Also, I would love to see San Diego State because
agreed.
I want to see them become a power school. They should have already been a power school, but the fucking Pac-12 on their fucking high horse. I don't have the academics, so can't get us. We're prestigious. Jimmy Larinaga. If Miami won a national championship, I know you hate the ACC. I would love to see Jimmy Larinaga win a national championship and say, "Peace out, college basketball." You know what I mean?
I wish he was anywhere but Miami. It's like Texas. Like I hate Miami. But I love Larinaga because I went to his camps growing up at Mason. Yeah. So I am a big Jimmy Larinaga fan, but I mean, with Princeton, I hate the Ivy League. So it's like hard to root for that Cinderella. That was another thing we didn't talk about.
But that would just be hilarious.
Yes, but
that would be
the Ivy League though.
True, but it would be fucking hilarious if an Ivy League team took home the national championship. It would be absolutely hilarious because you have all these programs cheating, and the Ivy League, the ones universities that I highly doubt they're doing anything with their NIL collectives. Yep. If they won the championship, it would be fucking hilarious. Florida Atlantic would be amazing. I think everyone would be okay with Florida Atlantic winning the national championship.
Yep.
I think Creighton would be great because I think you build that culture. You continue. They're in the middle of fucking Nebraska, and Fred Hoiberg can't jumpstart Nebraska to save his life. Right. This is potentially Gonzaga. You know what I mean? Like this is potentially Gonzaga, but yet over in the, in the middle of the country, but I would love to see them. But if I had to rank the teams that I want to see most, I got to be honest, it'd probably be Princeton just as a nice fuck you. I find
if they didn't
so
try and
funny.
Cancel the season, I'd be like, yes, I'd be all for it, man. I wish this was like an
But
Oral
that's
Roberts.
even funnier. That's even funnier. It's like we didn't even play basketball. We would have won it that year, but we canceled the season. All right.
Fuck those private school pussies. Even though I took them over Arizona. What about Xavier? The ultimate fuck you tour for Sean Miller. I think that'd be great.
That would be. I love that fan base. So I'm actually I forgot that one.
Yep.
That would be high on my list.
Yeah.
Tennessee, no, because you guys always cheat. I feel like
No.
Alabama,
no.
you always cheat. Yeah.
They're unbearable.
Yeah. I mean, the if I had to say no to a team first,
Alabama.
Yeah, them or Texas. I think Texas for me. Fuck Texas, man.
The only thing with Texas is Rodney Terry would be like, "Fuck you, give me the job." Like,
I like Rodney Terry. I hope he. Yeah, I would hope so, but I don't know. What about this though? What about odds to win the national championship right now? Like, do you have any plays that? And I still want to pick we're still going to pick our favorite matchups for the Sweet 16. But
yeah,
I'm sitting here. I'm loading up. Loading up. Where are we at here? So hold on. To win the national championship, who do you think could realistically, like Princeton? We don't think could really win the national championship, right? Where does that cut off for you? How many of these teams could win the national championship for you?
I would say the teams that could win it: Houston, Alabama, UCLA, UConn. I think Creighton could win it. I think Creighton's got a little bit of it. And Texas.
I think Kansas State could.
Yeah, maybe they got the guards. Do you think Sparty could?
Yeah, I do. It's all about matchups, man. It's all about matchups. I think this is one of Sparty's toughest tests. But it's all about matchups. I wouldn't shock me that if they got that far. It matters who they play. But to me, the only ones that I say like certainly could not win the national championship. Win or go, because that's always been a difference. We've seen Butler. We've seen Butler get there twice. Gonzaga get there twice. Some mid majors. Memphis with Derrick Rose.
Gonzaga could win it.
Because do you think? Yeah. If I'm just listing the teams that I think could win it all, I think it's Houston, Gonzaga, UCLA.
Yeah.
I'll even throw Alabama in there, even though I don't really believe with that philosophy.
Yeah. I don't think Tennessee could win it either.
I think Kansas State could. I think that's 5. Creighton could too. 6. Texas 7. UConn 8. That's 8 teams that I think could actually win the national championship. To appear in the national championship, I actually believe. I believe it's every school except Princeton and Tennessee. Maybe San Diego State too. I don't think San Diego State can get
Miami
there.
can't win it.
Yeah.
Miami's outside the top 100 in defense. Like I know that they're a hot story right now, but they can't win it. I don't think Xavier can win it. They're not good enough defensively either. You got to be really good on both sides to win 6 and 6 games.
I think Miami is going to give Houston all they can handle this week. So I'm tipping my hand.
I'm tipping my hand. I think Houston's going to fuck them up.
I think Miami's going to win on the money line.
Yeah, there might be a lock battle.
I have Houston winning it all in my bracket, but I think Miami is going to. I think that's going to be a very close game, and I think if you're going to play a dog, I think that's the one you want to play. But we got to get that's tomorrow's picks with Rob.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, odds wise, so right now, essentially, to win the national championship, out of all those teams I just rattled off, the team with the lowest odds that we think could actually win the national championship would be Kansas State at 3,500.
Yes, I agree.
Because you don't believe Xavier could win the national championship, do you?
No, I just don't think they're good enough defensively either.
I think they're good enough to get there.
As the guards, I'm with you.
I think. What about to get there? Which teams would you write off that it's impossible for them to get there?
Probably Princeton and FAU.
Excuse me.
I mean, I would be shocked if Miami beat Houston and Texas, but back to back. So I would cross off Miami. I don't think Miami can get there.
What if it's not Texas though? That's my thing. For one game, look, and I'm taking Texas. I mean, I like Texas's chances to beat Xavier, but if Xavier did pull off that upset, because upsets happen every fucking time we turn on. We put then Miami Xavier. Then I'm like, okay, they could do that. You know what I mean? Like, and then you can build the same situation with Florida Atlantic. Like, what if Florida Atlantic like gets Michigan State? You're telling me for one game, I could see Florida Atlantic winning that game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I think the winner of K-State and Michigan State's in a good position to at least get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, you never know what happens.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. I don't know. I don't know if that answered any of our questions as far as like odds. I like the K-State one. K-State plus 3,500.
Agreed.
Take a future on that right now.
I think we tipped off what our favorite game to watch is too.
Oh yeah, let's close out with this because I feel like this is my favorite ones to do. We do this on the College Football Experience a lot. All right. Let's start with the game you want to see least. We're gonna go in order. What is the game you want to see least?
See least probably Creighton and Princeton. If I absolutely had to choose, probably Creighton and Princeton, just because I think
you're right. I think you're right
by default. I mean, maybe FAU Tennessee, but I think that's going to be a decent game.
That's what I was going to say. Like to me, actually, I think it's between Creighton and Princeton or Xavier, Texas, because I think Texas's experience
Texas could fuck them up,
and their height might be a shitty game to watch. But so I'll put Princeton Creighton last. Then I'm going to put but Xavier could get up.
They do have a lot of seniors, but I mean they both have a lot of seniors. It's like it's a lot of experience everywhere in that game.
I'll go Tennessee FAU second to worst game. I'll join you on that.
Yeah.
Third worst game, I'm gonna go Xavier Texas because I think there's a chance that that's a blowout.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Fourth worst game.
Fourth worst game. See, I think I'm in the minority of thinking Houston's gonna not absolutely drill them by like 30, but like I think Houston's gonna flex their muscles this week. Maybe, man, UConn, Arkansas. That's got a lot of intrigue to it, though.
I think it's San Diego State, Alabama.
See, I think that one's going to be the surprise. Like, I think San Diego State, like, it's fascinating their defense versus Alabama's offense.
That could. I mean, all these games are pretty good.
Yeah,
you know
I would say the 2 1-5s are kind of tied. They're both 7.5 point spreads too.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see Miami Houston more than San Diego State Alabama because I think the styles fit. You know what I mean? Like, but all right, the game you want to see most.
Well, I guess actually UCLA Gonzaga might be the popular pick for me.
Yeah,
Michigan State K-State. I want to see that.
I think those are the clear top two to me.
Yeah,
Michigan State, K-State, and Gonzaga UCLA.
Yep. Because
Gonzaga UCLA gave us one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
You know,
twice.
Just a couple years ago. Yeah, twice. That's right.
Adam Morrison was crying on the floor.
Right.
So
that's right.
This is a rubber match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game I'd like to see third most is probably Arkansas, UConn, or Miami, Houston. I don't know. These games are fantastic. What else can we talk about, chat? We're gonna have to get out of here in a second, but if you got any ideas, fire them away, and we'll try to answer. You know, if you do it in a timely manner right now, because we got about 2 minutes before we get out of here. Miami Houston should be great. Can't wait to see O'Meara go up against the Houston front court. Me too. I think that game is going to be good. And I think the fact that both coaches are really good coaches, I think is compelling. It's very compelling to me. So quick picks for oh yeah, I'm sorry. Jeez, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Almost forgot. Yeah. Yep. Good catch, Noah. All right. So, and we have the CIT, but the NIT. So tonight, North Texas beat Oklahoma State by 6 in overtime, and Wisconsin beat Oregon by 3. I went 2-0 on the day on the NIT picks. That sets up for tomorrow's action. UAB Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's laying 1.5. I am on Jelly Walker and UAB to get this done. What are you doing here?
I'll take Jelly Walker as well over the Commodores. Although the Commodores have been playing good basketball, man.
Dude, if the season was a month longer, they would have been in the tournament.
Oh, and they'd be dangerous.
Yeah, they would have been in the tournament a month longer. Cincinnati, Utah Valley. This game, Utah Valley did ruin my Buffalo season. This is at the UCCU Center. I've driven right past this place before. Looks like a library. Do we have a line on this right now? 1.5. Cincinnati's minus 1.5.
Take the Valley.
I am too. That's a far
Home
trip,
team.
man.
Yeah,
that's a far fucking trip. Yeah, I'm on board. Give me the Valley to get that done. CBI wise, which I think that championship's tomorrow.
Yeah,
because we're waiting
Charlotte's
for
up 10 right now on Radford.
So that would then set up for Eastern Kentucky and Charlotte, correct?
Yeah, unless Radford comes back like EKU did.
And I believe that's the championship tomorrow. So guys, get the SGPN app. We'll have this in the picks page. Eastern Kentucky, Southern Utah was a fucking classic today. Hopefully you enjoyed that one, fellas. That's how you know the true college basketball fans. All right, because that was a damn good game. No doubt. Damn good basketball game. All right. Well, I mean, should we lock one? I'll lock up Utah Valley. I trust Utah Valley more than UAB.
On the home. Yep.
Yeah.
Home floor.
And if I had to make a projection, who wins the CBI? That would be give me Eastern Kentucky to get it done. They showed some heart today, battling back. What about you?
They're a hard team to prepare for too with their style of play. Yeah, I'll take EKU unless they play Radford. If Radford gets by, comes back, I'll take Radford. My guy.
Exactly. All right, the Highlanders, your guy. All right, folks. Well, tomorrow we're gonna be back. Hopefully, Rob Donaldson. I know Rob, you're in the chat. Let's set this up tomorrow. Come through. Love having love talking with the chat, but also I know Rob's knowledgeable. Trust me, if you're talking Eastern Kentucky hoops, you got knowledge. All right. So it's gonna be cool to have Rob on the show. We'll pick all of our games for tomorrow's, for the Sweet 16 with the spreads, lock, dogs, maybe even give out a fucking teaser. All right, let's go. So folks, stick around. Tomorrow's will be the really big time episode. Shout out to the whole chat, and make sure you check out all of our other stuff. College football experience. I know the past 2 weeks we haven't had the opportunity to drop episodes. That will be changing later this week. We will have a bunch of episodes out. Also, college baseball experience. Noah Beanick behind the scenes there as that season's in full swing now. Luis Fleming says, what time? It'll probably be right around the same time as tonight. I would say around 7 Pacific. Got to do ESPN Missoula. Shout out to ESPN Missoula for having me on again. That'll be at I believe 5. I'm on there. So 7 o'clock tomorrow Pacific time. So 10 o'clock Eastern. We should be, we'll let you know if something changes. Hop in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Also follow all Moneyline Max stuff. All right. NFL Gambling Podcast, the Ryan and Rush Show. I also host the XFL Gambling Podcast, and I've been absolutely on fucking fire for 3 straight weeks. Honestly, look, maybe you're thinking, I can't get into this. It's, I would question that if we were just having a conversation between a beer, but I'm not going to do that with every person in the chat. All I'm saying is I've been on fire. All right. So if you're just looking to bet, I'm giving you some straight heat, and I watch every fucking game. Guess what I did today? Because I was in Vegas and I didn't get a chance to watch all the games. I watched all the fucking games right outside of here. So check out the XFL Gambling Podcast, also the USFL Gambling Podcast, which I will be hosting. We'll probably have an episode out there soon as well. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast because we just dropped a bunch of episodes there. And get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And until then, tomorrow, cannot wait. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
My celling's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. They say the Lord watches over my sins, over my head, watching hair as it thins, over the ledge, and ain't letting me in. There's still regiments and relevance to letting me win. Win, lose or draw. You ain't prepared unless you all ready to lose it all. losing a brawl. Yeah, that's a ride day. Good friends know my Nina Hideaway. They came and went, but the riders stay. So it's like I won the lottery and can't be found until I resurface with the latest purchase. 33 and a third and 45 circles. You ain't got that, and I ain't 45 king. But on the beats, I've been doing my thing. I start the program and the doorbell ring. I gotta leave town to a place I can't be found. My celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. American dreams, lessons, and still they work. I guess the sand on the beach still was really dirt. Now I'm going home, flying over Rome at 30,000 feet. Like, damn, is that really Earth? I see the killers work on walls, familiar turf. Got a little school in graph, 101 was first. Got a little school in math, didn't really work. But put the numbers on the block and I make them hurt. Any block is my stomping ground where my people lay low so they can't be found. They don't wanna be, ain't from the crew, but I'm honorary. Liquid, steady gang, solar side, psycho harmony. Type of armory that's more than a shield. Type of armory's DeLorean steel. Type of warrior's ill, so true to my sound, but dig deep so it can't